These are kind of neat. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but they're kind of neat. Hi everybody, it's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and this is vlog number 34 for September the 4th, 2017, and it's Labor Day today. So you know what that means, at least in this country. It means they're going back, and that's all the kids to school. Now, I used to hate Labor Day when I was working, because I was a teacher, as you know. I used to hate it, not because I hated my job, it was because it was a brand new year, brand new kids. I was a little anxious about what I'd be teaching, how I'd be teaching, who I'd be teaching, and all the other things that were going to happen throughout the school year. So it was more excitement than anything. But now, after 5 years, well, actually, after 5 years, I still get a little antsy on Labor Day. And as I mentioned in my last vlog, I probably won't sleep tonight. That's just something that's ingrained in all teachers, I think, and it never leaves you. Anyways, enough about that. Let's talk about some current projects. What have I been up to? Let's see. I've got my coffee here. I've got my notes here. Okay, I have a video about this. I tried to do an acrylic pour using Geliplates, and you're probably aware of what a Geliplate is. It's simply a piece of silicone that you can do monoprinting on, and there's lots of videos out there. If you've never heard of Geliplates before, I have a few on my channel you can find as well. I thought, I wonder what would happen if I did an acrylic pour onto the Geliplate and then I dipped the canvas into it. Well, here's my results. Now, these have not been varnished yet, and I'm not particularly thrilled about the color combination. Maybe go this way, I don't know. But what I'm going to use these for is I'm basically going to take them and I'll use them as a background for something. I'll probably put a lot of mixed media pieces on top of them, and that'll be that. But it's kind of an interesting way to do it. And what I also did with that is I took some watercolor paper, and with the leftover paint on the Geliplate, I just laid it in as though I was going to do a monoprint and pulled a couple of prints. And what I did with those, and I was going to show it to you, but I've put them away somewhere, but I basically put them through my die cutting machine and cut out some butterflies in shapes like that with them. So it's kind of a neat technique, a little different. There is a video, and it's listed down below, where you can go and see the whole process that I did for that. What else have I been doing? Oh, okay. This started out to be something completely different. I had some old random chipboard pieces laying around, and I had seen a video on YouTube where, again, using the Geliplate, you put a layer of crackle paste onto the chipboard, let it dry, and then you sort of dip it into different paints and things with your Geliplate. And I was going to do that because I thought the results were kind of cool. But then I got thinking about it, and basically it was laziness. I didn't feel like getting out the Geliplate for this. So I just decided to paint them, and I went from there. And I created these pieces that I'm about to show you. This was a sort of an oblong heart or something like that. It had the crackle paste. You probably, there you can see the crackles under there, right in here, in that. And I went from there. Now, I had these paints by Finnabar, however you say that, that are, one set gives you rust effects and the other set gives you patina effects. And so I just used those, and I just kept layering them on the paints until I got what I liked. And then I went into my stash of embellishments. Ooh. Yeah, okay, enough. These are the Tim Holtz paper dolls, and I just used those, and these are some of his botanical collection, and I put some other chipboard pieces and painted those up onto this and glued it on, and I went from there. I just kept going. It was kind of fun. So I created this, And I just went through and found some miscellaneous die cuts that I had laying around. This. And this has some of Mike Deacon's little printable digital pieces. And then this last one with the angel. And this image, by the way, comes from a website. I was going to probably review this. It's called Graphic Fairy. And they have all of these vintage images that are free, that you can use them, and the license says that you can actually use them in pieces that you might be selling and things like that. They have a membership fee, which gets you more exclusive items, kits of things as well. But it's about $10, I think, a month US. And well, from my point of view, I mean, for the amount that I'll use it, I don't feel that I need to have a membership for it because there's plenty of freebie selections on there. But it's a neat site, Graphics Fairy, so check that out. And if you look down here, you'll see what I happen to put. These are the tags that are made with the tag Tim Holtz's tag press. I'm having trouble talking this morning. I don't know what it is. I better have a sip of coffee. Okay, so I showed you that in the last vlog, and so I made up a bunch of these. There's 3 sizes, 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/4 inch. Actually, I've had to order a 1 1/4 inch punch. I had every other size except a 1 1/4 inch. So this is 1 inch size, and those two are, and this is 3/4 of an inch size. And you can see what I did was I took just some jelly printed papers that I had in my stash, and I just punched them out. You put them in, you crimp it. It just presses down the edges to hold it in with the tag press. And then from there, what I did was I coated them in glassy accents, so it gives them sort of a, you know, a shiny finish on them. Now you could take these, put a little hole in the top of them, use them as tags, whatever. But you saw the way I used them. Oops, losing things here. The way I used them on this. And actually, I kind of tried to age them. I put a little gold rub around the edges. That's why you see this sort of almost dirty look onto that. But kind of fun. I don't know how often I'm going to use that. I suspect I'm not going to use it all that often. It's kind of a pricey little device. It's about $38 at Michael's for it. I did have a 50% off coupon though, so that was one reason why I actually bought it. I don't think I would have paid the full $38 for it because I really can't see getting the use out of it. But I've got it now, thought I would try it, and maybe I'll use it on a few other things. So yeah, so those were my current projects. And now I think it's time for my YouTube channel of the week. This week's YouTube channel is Studio of MM. MM is someone kind of special to me because I know who this young lady is. Besides being a very, very talented artist, she lives in my neighborhood. She only lives a couple of blocks from me, and I know her mother very well because her mother I worked with for many years. Her mother is a retired school teacher. But you need to check out her website because she does some fantastic artwork. Now, this is fine art that she is doing. This is not crafting, which is what I usually review on this channel. But I really think you should check her out, especially if you're into anime and fantasy art, because her art is simply beautiful. So check it out. That's Studio of MM. So as I said in that video, the young lady who runs that channel, she's a great artist, and she just lives around the corner from me. And I know her mother very well. In fact, Walter knows her father. Walter went to high school with her father, and I taught for many years with her mother. So let's see what's coming up. Oh yeah, and I've got a link to her YouTube channel in the box below. Okay, so now we're on to my favorite segment of the week, I guess, and according to you, everybody loves this as well, and I have some news about this too coming up near the end of the video, so stay tuned. What's pissing me off this week? Vegetables. Vegetables, I mean the produce department in a grocery store, actually. Actually, it's not just the produce department, it's a lot of departments. Okay, here's what set me off. So, Walter went over to the grocery store the other day and he picked up some corn. And they had corn on for $17 an ear, which is pretty good.
Just a quick little interjection here. I said $17. I meant 17 cents an ear. $17 would make it kind of pricey.
Which is pretty good. We don't eat a lot of corn on the cob, but this was Ontario grown corn, and that's always the best. Most of the corn, you can get corn any time of the year in the grocery store now. However, it comes from foreign places and it's not that fresh, and I find that it's kind of tasteless. So we'll get some while we can in our own country. So he went over and he got it, and he comes home and he goes, they're all standing around the big bin where this corn is, and they're ripping it open to look at it. And I said, were any of them husking it too there and throwing the stuff back in? He says, oh yeah. And I said, that drives me mental. Okay, couple of things there. All right, yes, you want to check your vegetables to make sure you're not getting something that's rotten. But some of these people pull back all the husk, look at it, and they do this too. They want half a dozen ear of corn, but they go through like 20 or a couple of dozen of them before they get the ones that are just perfect for them. You know, I don't really do that. I kind of look in there. Well, I don't have to do it because usually they've all been opened up before I get there. So it's easy, just look at them, throw them in. But I'm not that picky about it because after all, it's corn. And really, the corn you get in the grocery stores anyways, usually it's okay. You're not going to have too many problems with it. And you can usually tell from the condition the husk is in as well, I find. So I just pick up, I don't buy that much, maybe half a dozen at a time, throw them in the bag and take my chances. Okay, but this husking it in the store, when did that start? When I was a kid, my mother'd go out and she'd buy a couple of dozen ears of corn, and that's I guess what kids are for, she'd send us outside with a big bag and tell us, husk it. We'd do it outside. Well, you know what corn silk is like. It gets on everything, and it does make a mess in the house. But we went outside, the wind blew the silk away, we threw the rest of the stuff in the garbage bag, and presto, bingo, it was done. We never, ever considered husking it in the grocery store. Now, there's a couple of reasons why that pisses me off. One, there's all these people standing around husking their corn. I don't like grocery shopping at all. I have a list. I want to get in. I want to get out. That's it. I don't want to be standing behind all these people as they paw through the corn. And then by the time you get up to the bin to pull yours up, half of it is covered in these husks. So you're sifting through this pile of garbage, basically, trying to find some corn. And I just don't get it. Okay, I know that husking corn at home, it is a bit messy. But like I said, if you got kids, send them outside to do it. Or go outside yourself and do it, or whatever. I don't know. It's not that big a deal. But apparently, it must be that big a deal to these people. And it must be a pain in the butt for the people who work in those stores and the produce managers and stuff, because they're constantly having to clean up that silk and those husks off the floor, off the other produce, off the customers, everywhere. So it has to be a pain. And I got thinking about what else in the produce department really bugs me in a grocery store. And the other thing is people thumping and squeezing and tapping and weighing the vegetables and the fruits. Poke, 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 poke. Yeah, I know. You want it to be ripe. You're checking it for that. You know, you thump the melon kind of a thing. You push in the center of a cantaloupe. You squeeze tomatoes. I don't know. And stuff. And yeah, I look through when I'm getting green peppers and that. I don't want the ones that have, brown marks all over them. So yeah, I pick them up and I turn them around and I look at them. I get that, okay? Food is expensive and you want to get the best quality for your money. But some people stand there and they're poking and they're squeezing and they're thumping and they throw it back. Forth, you don't know the stuff you pick up out of there, how many times it's been handled. Make sure you wash it thoroughly when you get home. Not just because of pesticides. Of course, they're not allowed to use much of those anymore, supposedly on it. But, just what's on people's hands that they're putting all over my vegetables, kind of a thing. But again, it's very annoying. And you see them picking through. They got to get the most perfect tomato? Well, you know, it's nature. Nature isn't always absolutely perfect. A little tiny mark on a tomato, really? Cut it off. It's not going to bug you that much. It's not going to affect the flavor and that kind of thing. Yeah, you don't want a rotten tomato, but I mean, you know what I mean with it. So this also gets me onto the whole thing about grocery shopping in general and why I hate it and why it pisses me off. Just not the fact that people are pawing through everything. Then there's the people, though, who have to read every jar they put their hand on. Okay, yes, you're checking for, you know, how much sodium's in there. You're checking the ingredients. You're checking, I always look at them to check, you know, the caloric level and that kind of thing. Yes, but a lot of them spend half an hour with a jar in their hand. This is not a novel. Okay, in fact, I wonder if it's taking you that long to read the information on a jar, how long does it take you to read a novel? Really? And usually they're doing it in the middle of the aisle. And these aisles in grocery stores are very, very narrow these days. To get more stuff in, they go up and they go in. And a lot of times, in some of the stores I've been shopping in, there is not enough room for 2 carts to get down the aisle. One has to go this way, one has to go that way. And if you're standing in the middle of the aisle reading your jar, you know, you're holding up traffic. It's gridlock. And I usually will say very politely, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, because it always seemed to be deaf. I guess you can't listen and read a label at the same time. Not a multitasking kind of thing, I guess. And then finally, and then they give me the look. They usually give me a look. And okay, I'm going to say something really radical right now, and I don't want to hear any bad email about it. Okay? It is usually a woman that is standing there. Okay? And I ask politely, and then I get this dirty look like, excuse me, go to another aisle. Well, no, the stuff I want's in this aisle too. You know, I'm just asking you to move over just a hair so I can get past you. Okay? Why is it mostly women? Because I know most of the women do the grocery shopping for their home. I guess that's kind of sexist. But there is. Let's face it, that's the reality of the situation. Women do a lot of the grocery shopping. So that's why I guess it's women. So nothing against women here. I'm not trying to put women down. I'm just saying what I've observed. Okay, simple as that. No hate mail, please, about that. So what else do I hate? I hate the people who are eating or have a coffee when they're grocery shopping. Okay, yeah, you should never grocery shop, they say, on an empty stomach, because you'll always buy more than you need and usually buy stuff that you shouldn't buy. It's not good for you. Well, okay, fine. However, couldn't you eat before you got in the grocery store? The thing that bugs me the most is when they open up a bag of cookies or a bag of chips. They pull it off the shelf, they open it up, and they're munching away on it as they're going through the grocery store. Okay, I'm assuming they're paying for it when they get up. Maybe some of them don't. I don't know. But really, that just bugs me. It's piggies at the trough kind of a thing. I don't know. Maybe I make too much of that. Maybe that shouldn't really bother me. Why should it bother me? Is it hurting me? No, it's not hurting me. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it I find it off-putting for some reason. What else bugs me about the grocery store? Well, I've already mentioned in a vlog way back about the express line, so I'm not going to talk about that one again, just to say that simply, if it says 8 items, don't have 20. 3 green peppers count as 3 items, not 1 item. You cannot categorize. I'm sorry. The reason it's an express line is for people who only needed a couple of things and want to get in and get out. Simple as that. Yeah, so really, oh, and kids. Kids in a grocery store. I'm talking little kids. 3, 4, 5 years old who are running amok all over the grocery store, up and down the aisles. Or they've decided, or the parents have decided to let the little child push the cart for them. They can't see over the top of the thing, and they're running it into the grocery shelves. They're running it into other shopping carts, and they're running it into me. Okay, and that I do not like. You know, I've always sworn that when I get to a certain age where I can't walk that well anymore, I'm going to get myself one of those little scooters, and I'm going to go into the grocery store, and occasionally I might just accidentally run over one of the little precious things. And I'll say, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see the little deer. Here, let me back up to make sure I got them. Okay, I know. And now I'm going to get hate mail about that I hate kids. No, I don't hate kids. I mean, I was a teacher for 31 years, so, you know, I must have liked them. But what bugs me is not so much the little kids. They don't know any better. It's the parents who let them do this. Walter said that his mother used to keep him on a leash, literally. You know, I've seen this. Actually, that was very popular way back when I was much younger. You would sometimes see these harnesses around little kids, and the parents could, you know, kind of rope them in if they were getting, you know, out of the way. It was a safety precaution, I think. Today, I guess people don't do that because maybe that's up there with spanking, I guess. It's child cruelty or something. I don't know. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, senior moment. Kids need to be controlled by their parents. Okay? I mean, I wouldn't want to be a parent and have to take a whole bunch of little kids with me grocery shopping. I mean, that's got to be a pain in the butt. But nevertheless, if you're taking the kids, control your kids. They're your kids. And it's a safety precaution too, because, you know, some of the little ones, and I have accidentally done this. I really didn't do it on purpose, okay, in spite of what I've just said. Little kid comes shooting out around a corner at the same time I'm coming around with the cart, and I've got them. Bonk. Okay, clean up in aisle 3 with them, kind of a deal. And oh, the parents get really upset, and I go, I'm terribly sorry, I didn't see them, and I didn't. But then the facetious side of me wants to say, yeah, if I had seen them, it would have been a lot worse. But I don't say that. That's just something that goes on in my wicked imagination. So anyways, what's pissing me off this week? Grocery stores, people in grocery stores, people picking, poking, squeezing their vegetables, their fruits, and letting their kids run amok and stand in the middle of aisles and blocking traffic. I guess I am becoming a cranky old man. Okay, enough on what's pissing me off. Let's talk about some new things. Okay, they've finally got the new oxide ink colors. I haven't really used them on anything yet, but I love them. But I also have to buy more mini applicators, you know, the round ones from Tim Holtz. I have a mini applicator for every one of my distress ink colors. Yes, it might seem obsessive, but they're all labeled. When I'm using, you know, Salty Ocean, I pull out the Salty Ocean applicator, and they're all there. I know that some people, and I used to do this myself, will take the little white pad and Velcro it to the bottom of the ink case, and then they just have one applicator, just put it on, and away they go. But, you know, I'm not like that. I don't want ink all over my hands, okay? So, plus I have these really cool spinner racks by Tim Holtz, which right now are really hard to get a hold of. I don't know if they've discontinued them or what, but I needed some more of those, and I've got quite a few. They look really cool, and you've seen my craft room remake, so you have seen these. So I just found on Amazon a place where I can get some more of those, because I'm going to need more, because eventually he's going to release all 60 of his colors in the oxide inks. So I'm going to have a place to hold all my applicators. Expensive? Yeah, it is, but I like it. It's what I want. So that's what I'm going to get. Now, I got something though from England, from a company called Indigo Blue. If you're not familiar with Indigo Blue, and it's a good possibility you're not, because a lot of their products are not available in North America. They have a wonderful line of rubber stamps, and they have these really nice paints. But they also have something called Luscious Pigment Powder, and I'm going to show these to you. They come in little bottles like this, but this is pure pigment. It isn't wet, it's dry, it's little crystals. I don't know if I can show it to you without spilling. Oh, yeah, without spilling it. Good shot. The things I do for you people, really, you know, for the sake of education. Anyways, these are really nice. They come in a lot. I think I bought 11 different colors. I want more of them. But here's the problem. I had to order them from England, from Indigo Blue. They're over there. So, of course, you're going to be paying for it in pounds. And the pound rate now, next to the Canadian dollar, not so good. And then you have to pay for shipping. And they send it by postal, like Royal Mail, that kind of thing. And then I wasn't sure if I was going to get nailed with duty or anything like that. But I took a chance. I got 11 of these. It ended up costing me about, in Canadian money, I think it cost me around $90, including the shipping. But they're really nice, and they'll last a lifetime, because all you do with these is you put a little tiny bit out into your paint palette or onto a non-stick mat. You spray a little water on top of them, mix it up, and you get this wonderful paint. They're kind of like a watercolor, but I think they're actually an acrylic. I don't know if it says on here, but they are permanent once they dry. But here's something that I just did with them. Everybody's got embossing folders, I'm sure. I've got literally probably 150 embossing folders, which I never use anymore. With it, I got on the embossing folder craze some time ago and had to have them all, and I got them all, and now I don't use them. So I thought the other day, let me get them out and try something. Now, this is not an original idea to me. I saw this on, I think it was Bella Rose was doing this, and I've reviewed Bella Rose's YouTube channel in previous vlogs. But she took watercolor, actually. I just used the Luscious Pigment powders, and you just kind of go all over it. You spray a little water on these embossed sheets. This is watercolor paper. And you just splash on, paint on a little bit of these colors. And you see, these colors have a shimmer to them. See the shimmer? When they dry, which makes them nice. Now, what am I going to do with these? I'm going to die cut these. I love butterflies, so I'll probably die cut a bunch of these into butterflies and flowers that I can use as embellishments on other mixed media pieces. But they are really nice, and I think I want more. So I think in some time down the road, I am going to go through and order some more colors. I'm not sure how many colors they have. I think it's a couple of dozen anyways. Might be a few more than that. But I think I may, when I'm feeling rich, get some more of these. So that's Luscious Pigment powders. You might be able to, no, I don't think you can. I looked high and low and could not find them anywhere in North America. I had to get them directly from Indigo Blue. I even talked to them about the shipping cost, and they were very nice. They said that because I was ordering so many of them, they would split the shipping cost by mail in half for me. So I think I got a bargain there as well with it all. Okay, what else is new? Nothing else really. Oh, so let's talk about the new segment I started last week, and that's some brainstormed ideas of things you can do. These are things that I glean from watching YouTube videos. And again, I'll say, like I said last week, some of them I'll actually will do. Others I may never get to, but I put them out there for you. Maybe you'll get to them. So what are my 3 this week? Okay, I've got here, do a mixed media piece using mostly packaging. I think it was, what's her name? Mirmi Small Art, Marta. I've reviewed her YouTube channel in the past. She does wonderful work, but she did one video where she basically was using packaging to create a tag or a mixed media piece. So I'm saving some of the packaging from some of the products I've bought recently, and when I get a few of them, I'm going to try that. I'm just going to see what happens, because sometimes the packaging is really, really nice. So why not? As she would say, she's always saying, why not? So I'm going to try that. Another idea, use the mini jelly art plates, which are the gel plates that I talked about at the beginning of the video that I used for the acrylic pour. Well, use those as stamps to create backgrounds. There's some that are much smaller. Most of them come like 4x6, 6x6, 8x8, 10x 12, 8 by 10, and up like that. But they have a series that are basic shapes like a circle, oval, rectangle, square, triangle, that kind of thing, hexagon, and they're only about this big around. So I'm thinking I could use those to create sort of a stamped background on an art journal page. You know, just load it up, and you could layer it with the paint, and it might be kind of cool. So I might give that a try. And my third tip is to do a transfer on an acrylic pour. Now, what a transfer is you print out an image. It could be a picture, a diagram, whatever, or you could cut it out from a magazine, that kind of thing. It has to be something, though, that isn't permanent. So, you know, like, it has to be something that is permanent. In other words, not water soluble. Because transfer technique, and you can look up transfer techniques on YouTube, and people use various things. I find the thing that works best for me is to use matte medium, and you basically print out or cut out your image. You apply matte medium to the surface of your page, your canvas, whatever. Lay your image face down in that. Brayer out or smooth out with an old credit card or something like that, all the air bubbles. You do not top seal it, and you let it dry. Once it's dry, you spritz a little water on it to soak that piece of paper, and start very gently with your finger going in a circular motion. You rub off the layer of paper, and what's left behind is an image, the image without the paper backing. And I'll show you what this looks like, because I've actually done this on an acrylic pour. Those butterflies are not stamped. They were printed on my laser printer, okay, because laser printer uses toner as opposed to inks, and so that toner is not water soluble. And laid down the matte gel, put these images on top, smooth them out, let them dry, and then I, with my finger and water, I just went around and rubbed off all the white. Now, it takes some time to do this. I find it kind of therapeutic, but you get a pretty good transfer. Now here, this one, you can see the transfer didn't come all the way, but that's okay. It works with it. So what I'm thinking is, I did this with one image. What if I was to take maybe one of those little ones that I did earlier, and I put multiple images on it, and actually maybe layer the images like a collage, and tried that. It will take some time to do it, but I'm thinking that might be kind of a neat effect. So I'm going to give that a go at some point in time. So those are my 3 ideas that I share with you this week, and you know, maybe something there will inspire you. Okay, moving on. Oh yeah, okay. So a couple of ideas I've been playing with, and you can let me know in the comments below if this would be of interest for you. Walter and I were talking last night. We were sitting out in our patio area. Sorry, I seem to have a sniffle. Gross. And maybe it was the wine talking last night, I don't know, but I said to him, I thought that what we should do is I should do a special video where I teach Walter a simple crafting technique, a page in an art journal, something like that to do. And we'll just see what happens, because Walter doesn't do this kind of stuff at all. Ironically, what'll probably happen is his will probably turn out better than mine. Yeah. So a little competition here. Well, not really. So I thought that might be kind of fun. Actually, it might be more fun if we are having a couple of glasses of wine while we do it, too. Who knows what it'll end up. And the other idea is extending my What's Pissing Me Off segment to actually a separate video to What's Pissing Us Off, where Walter and I will discuss various issues. Not sure what those issues will be, but things that are really bugging us. Not about each other, no. We're not going to air our dirty laundry in public for that kind of thing, but you know, just talking about state of affairs. For example, he's about to retire, and he was talking about some things that are going on at his workplace that are just asinine and stupid. And so, you know, just kind of having a little free-for-all discussion about what's pissing us off. Those are a couple of ideas in the works. I think they might be kind of fun. I don't know. Let me know if you think this would be something that you might like to tune into. I don't know. So that's news. What have I done in the past week? Not a heck of a lot. I worked on that acrylic pour that I told you about. I worked on these things. I played with my luscious pigment powders. I played with the tag press. But we did go yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. We went up to a flea market in a town north of us called Port Perry. And we went looking around. And I didn't know this place existed. This antique flea market kind of a thing. And so it was kind of interesting. They had a lot of interesting stuff. And so I picked up another couple of pieces of jewelry. And I found this piece. Excuse me. Something caught in my throat there. Just trying to untangle it here. Just bear with me for 1 second. Well, it's got a chain around it, but I don't know how that happened. Okay. All right, there we go. It looks like it was made by somebody. In fact, there's somebody's name on the back and a place. It says Nanaimo. I can never say it. It's like those bars, you know, the bars, I mean the bars that Christmas time people make, Nanaimo bars, whatever. Well, this is a place in BC. I've actually been there. It's a pretty place. But I thought that was really cool. That is going to be like I'll use it as a centerpiece, as a focal image on a mixed media piece. Maybe one of those pieces I did earlier. But I thought that was really cool. And I think I paid $6 for that. And then I found this little guy. He's in the bag still. It's a brooch pin, but this rooster. But I thought that was kind of cool too. So they're going into my collection of jewelry bits and pieces for future mixed media projects. So that was a neat place. I'd go up there again and look around for more things. Okay, so what is coming up? All right, well, this Friday is RMG Fridays, the art gallery. And you know all about that because I've discussed that with you before. And I go there, and both of us, actually, Walter and I both volunteer there as gallery attendants, and I take people on little tours around and whatnot. I'm a little worried, though, about this Friday night coming up because I think they've changed some of the installations, and I have not had what they call a curatorial briefing yet on what those entail. So I don't know how well I'm going to do on a nutshell tour if anything has changed majorly there. I should probably pop in sometime this week and just take a little look around to see what the lay of the land is like in there. Walter's not going to be going on Friday night. He's got a retirement party, not his, somebody else's where he works, and he's going to that. So I'll be on my own on Friday night for this. And I am working on a new project. I have nothing to show you right now, but remember one of those ideas that I mentioned back last week about taking a box and doing a mixed media piece on it? Well, one of you suggested, why not do like Christmas boxes kind of a thing and do it mixed media? They can be given as gifts. And I thought, yeah, that's kind of a cool idea. But Halloween's coming up soon, really. So I thought, maybe I'll do a Halloween theme. I'm not really much into Halloween. You know, here's your candy, goodbye, kind of thing. But I thought this might be kind of fun. And I've got a bunch of Halloween stuff in my stash, so I thought I'd use it. So that's what I'm going to do. But I've just gessoed the box. I haven't done anything else with it yet. I'm still playing with some ideas for it. So when I get that done, I'll show that to you. Okay, final notes. I did have another suggestion. You remember I asked last week if you had suggestions or, you know, constructive comments, please give them to me. Well, I'm acting on a constructive comment. A couple of people mentioned to me that they thought my introduction to the vlogs and to my videos is too loud. It rises to a crescendo. And I really hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I've noticed when I've played them back, it is a little bit loud. So I thought, all right, I'll see what I can do. So I hope you noticed it because the intro to this one is definitely not as loud. I cut the volume down on it, and I hope that will be more pleasing. One person said to me that it kind of got her dog upset when it came on. So I thought, well, okay, I got dogs watching my videos now too. All right. So yeah, so I may not always comment on what you write, but I read them. I read them all and I take them seriously. Okay. So, and having said that, if you have any suggestions, right now I'm looking for some other suggestions about websites you might go to that I don't know about that you would like to have me review in the segment where the YouTube channel of the week. I would really appreciate you sending me a link to or the title of any YouTube channels that you go to on a regular basis and really like. I'm all about reviewing them for you as well. Okay, and of course I'm open to any other kind of constructive suggestions that you have as well. So that's it. That's this week's vlog. So I hope you enjoyed that, found some things that are exciting. I need to get a Kleenex because I don't know, suddenly I'm dripping here. I don't know why. I don't feel like I'm getting a cold. I hope I'm not getting a cold. But anyways, so I don't want to gross you out any longer. So you have a good week, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye for now.